Hello, my name is Brian Robbins, and this is my assignment for the video reaction for the week. This week we talked about taxes in the TED Talk, and just a side note, just so I get out the way, this don't really have nothing to do with the video, but I just realized that TED Talks have countdown timers. I don't know why. I was just taking notes, looked up and seen it, and yeah, just a side note, put that out there. One of the things he talked about early on in the video was tax evasion. What tax evasion is the non-payment or underpayment of taxes. And he gave a good example of this early on in the video with Apple earning over the last 3 years. Apple earned $100 billion in profits, tax-free. So that's basically just a form of tax evasion, white-collar crime, basically. And fun fact, tax evasion is one of the two most common kinds of white-collar crimes prosecuted by federal agents or federal authorities. The other one would be embezzlement. He talked about political value of trust, and basically they're saying, like, if it's good for society, it's fair, or if it brings society peace, then that's a good thing. He talked about the economic value, which is less waste and more reliable. He called it the invisible hand. And one of the things he talked about is the structural trust, and that's just trust that does collective good and public property of systems. He talked about that, but he said it's not in a private, like in a private setting. It's a public. One of the things he mentioned was Apple is a part of the multinational tax dodging, or Apple does multinational tax dodging. What that is basically is it's a way that corporations avoid taxes by manipulating prices. He gave an example of this. I think he talked about like a banana company started, and I can't remember where, but it started in one country, and it was like $7 for each pound of banana basically, and it went to another place, and then it was $3 a pound for for some bananas, and it goes somewhere else, and it goes up like $5. I don't know the exact numbers or places, but that's basically what that is. Apple would move its products, like the brand, intellectual properties, to these other countries, and because of that, the price of it would change, making the taxes lower or higher depending on a certain number of factors. Next thing I wrote down, basically just that multinational tax dodging is a way that business systems are able to transfer a lot of intellectual properties to low tax dollars. He said Ireland and the Netherlands were two places that Apple does this a lot at. He talked about the debt crisis. He said $6.8 trillion in constant money went in to solve this debt problem, but a lot of it was wasted due to poor management. Then he said that ordinary people should get involved. I'm not too sure on how he wants ordinary people to get involved, but I didn't get a chance to research it yet. And the last thing he did, he left us with a quote: "A democracy begins with the act of faith." That's by William James in 1898. One of the things that I wanted to point out from my notes is when he talked about the white-collar crimes and the tax evasions and the embezzlement and stuff, it brought me back to week one, or the first video reaction that we did. We talked about white-collar crime, and even back then, like, it just blew my mind about how corporations and how people are able to get away with this. But I didn't realize, like, you know, how big it actually was until he gave us the example with Apple, $100 billion in, you know, tax-free profits over the last 3 years. That's crazy money, and the fact that the speaker is able to just, you know, talk about it, and well, it might have been some cases or, you know, some lawsuits out there, none that I really paid no attention to, but even him just, you know, just saying it casual like that, and it don't seem like, if Apple was punished, it don't seem like it was a big enough punishment. I think it's just crazy, you know, how the white collar crimes, how major they get. And another thing I want to talk about was how crazy the debt crisis is. You know, I remember hearing about, you know, America being in debt since I was younger. My people was always big on politics, and my grandma would try to tell me about stuff that's going on in the world. Back then, I was like, you know, way too young to really like pay attention and realize how big of a problem it is. But as you grow up, you get older, you start to see things for yourself. You start to hear stuff, and you know, it's a major problem. There was an example, example I heard a couple years ago. If you stack, you know, I think they said $100 bills from like here to the moon or something like that, and, you know, put along the Great Wall of China or something like that. That's how much debt America is in. That's crazy. That might have been over exaggeration. It was something along those lines, but the point of it was to say, like, the debt problem that America has is ridiculous. It's out of hand. So with him saying that, you know, ordinary people could do something about that, no, I'm not gonna say I got inspired. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, somebody needs to do something about it, you know, in the end. And yeah, that's all I have for this week.